Hi everybody, this is Tony again, and today we're going to talk about an issue close to my heart, and that is Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom is an American cartoon series that aired in the early 2000s, and it is created by Butch Hartman, though now owned by Viacom and Nickelodeon, aired on Nickelodeon channel for a few years, about 3 seasons, and it has a small cult following that I am a part of. It is one of my favorite series. If you've seen my AO3, I have written several stories for it. I could talk about this for hours, but I also love reading books. So I have constructed a list of books that are similar to Danny Phantom plot-wise or have similar vibes to Danny Phantom. Some of these books are going to be middle grade books, which kind of fits because Danny Phantom was a book marketed towards 12-year-olds. Did I say book? TV show. It was a TV show marketed towards 12-year-olds. Now the first one I'm going to recommend, you probably already seen this book or you've read it. It is Neil Gaiman's The Graveyard Book. This is a one-off book by popular author Neil Gaiman, same guy who wrote American Gods, Sandman, and Coraline. This tells the story of Nobody Owens. Nobody Owens, as a baby, his family is assassinated by a mysterious stranger, and he crawls out of his crib into a graveyard where he is taken up by a ghostly family and lives his life as a semi-ghost, semi-human in a ghostly world full of ghost and mischief. It is pretty light through the middle of the book as it goes through Nobody's days living in a graveyard. He's not completely a ghost, but he has some special properties living in the graveyard. Again, a young boy with ghost-like powers talking to ghosts is very reminiscent of Danny Phantom, and I think for those who like Danny Phantom and like a lot of the ghosts and are looking for more found family tropes, this would be perfect for you. Next one I do own in physical. Some of these books I don't own, so there'll be an image somewhere on screen. But this one I do. It is the City of Ghosts series by Victoria Schwab. You might have read some of her other books. She goes usually by V.E. Schwab. She's written A Darker Shade of Magic is her adult fantasy titles, and The Invisible Life of Addie Ray. The City of Ghosts series follows young Cassie Blake, who had a life or death situation where she almost drowned in a lake. She is saved by a ghostly teenager with dark hair and light color eyes, and now she can enter an in-between world between this world and the next. She can talk to ghosts, she helps them pass on, and she has some unique powers, like being able to see a thread that keeps them connected to this world in their chest and being able to just pull it out. She's not like other girls, as she likes to take photographs and talk to ghosts. Her best friend is the ghost that saved her on that fateful day, and he's very sassy. And her parents are ghost hunters, but not like how Danny Phantom is. They are TV ghost hunters. Her mom is a full believer, her father is a skeptic, and the story follows her and her family. They got a TV deal to ghost hunt in various European cities around the world and investigate haunted cities on part of the TV show. So the first one takes place in the UK in Ireland. The second book, Tunnel of Bones, of course, takes place in the Paris catacombs. I haven't read the third book in the series, and I'm kind of hoping that's not the end because I'm really enjoying this book series. My only critique of this book series is that it mentions Harry Potter a lot. Cassie is a big Harry Potter fan, and so it constantly brings up Harry Potter. Her and her ghostly friend always talk about Harry Potter and make Harry Potter references. But besides that, if you would have told me that this was a Danny Phantom fan fiction that someone scrubbed the barcodes off, I would believe you. And I'm sure Victoria Schwab would come to me and say that this is an original idea, this is not fan fiction, but I want to doubt that because it has so many similarities to characters and plot elements from Danny Phantom. And if you go on Goodreads, there are also several reviewers saying that this reminds them of Danny Phantom, that it has those vibes, and it feels like rereading Danny Phantom. Now the next few I don't have physical, so I'm going to have to look at my notes. The Serafina series, the first book being Serafina and the Black Cloak. These are by Robert Beatty, B-E-A-T-T-Y. It has 4 volumes. The first volume also has a graphic novel adaptation that is out if you like comics, but this doesn't have to do with the undead, but I think it has similar vibes. Serafina is not exactly human, and she lives in the basement of a resort hotel with her adopted father, who is a caretaker, and she has to hide herself away from the world above because she is different in some way. A way that she doesn't exactly know, but at night she crawls out and explores the woods around this resort. She then meets the son of one of the families that is staying there. He is a kid with dark hair who is very sassy. Again, Danny Phantom fans might find this similar to the main character Danny, and they have various adventures. Do go in with a warning that this is a lot like some of Roald Dahl series, in which sometimes really messed up things happen to the characters, and our characters are like, oh well, we're children, we're not gonna think about the implications of what just happened. Spoilers, the second book has a child character that turns into a bird, and the book ends with someone mistakenly shooting her down and stuffing her, and she's just there in the hotel. And they just kind of walk past it, not going to discuss it. There has been plans for Serafina to have a Disney Plus TV show, or some TV show on the Disney Channel, though I do not know the updates for that. But I think since Serafina series has a lot to do with coming of age tropes, friendship, and supernatural, and not feeling like you truly belong in this world, I think a lot of Danny Phantom fans would enjoy that. Next one is Odd Thomas by Dean Koontz. A lot of people might have read this before. This is a very popular, YA adult series. I don't know where exactly it fits in, but I know a lot of people read this in high school. It's about 7 books long, and this follows Thomas, who is a short order cook at a local diner, and he has the ability to see a ghost. So by day, he's working at this diner. By night, he's going and helping ghosts move on. He can also see curses and bad spirits as a form of fog. This gets important when one day, a weird spore man, or a man with a lot of fogs around him, comes in to town and begins to cause trouble. The first book is all about Thomas having to save this small town from this man. Now, a warning, the show does talk about some graphic, come on, you're meowing, you want attention, does talk about some graphic things. In one of the books, there is a ghost who was raped before her death, and she does talk about it. That is a warning if you are going to go into the book series. There is a movie adaptation of only the first book, and I think it's actually a pretty good adaptation, but let me know in the comments if you don't like the movie. I haven't heard anybody who didn't like the Odd Thomas movie. I think Danny Phantom fans would love Odd Thomas for not feeling like you would belong, a small town, supernatural business, one weird evil man going against one evil older man who is going against a much younger man. As in the show, Danny is 14 and his arch nemesis is a 30-year-old man. Another one I'm going to mention, I do have this in physical. There you go. Another book I'm going to mention, I do have one of these in physical, is Deadman. Deadman is he's not the most popular DC superhero, but he is like sort of the C team, I would say. Deadman follows a circus acrobatic who dies. He's dead. He dies, and now he is a superhero ghost that can possess people, and he kind of floats around the world helping people by possessing their bodies. Undead superhero who deal with paranormal stuff is similar to Danny Phantom, which Danny is a half undead superhero who deals with paranormal business. This one, Dark Mansion of Forbidden Love, is a nice one-shot if you've never heard of Deadman before, and it's a great introduction into the characters. If you've read the Injustice comics, I believe Dick Grayson, the first Robin, dies and becomes the next Deadman. But I haven't read Injustice that far because I don't like how Injustice treats Damian Wayne's character. So the next one is another superhero comic that is done by Clive Barker. Clive Barker is the man in charge, the man who did the first few Hellraiser movies and the remake. So he does he's related to a lot of horror-related media, and he did a 9-issue series called Ectokid. I'm gonna put that around here. Ectokid. Ectokid follows our main character. I think he's supposed to be a teenager, but he might be an adult. He goes into bars, but never into school, so I think he's an adult. I read the 9-issue series. I found it online because the volumes are a little hard to find. They weren't popular when they came out, and they got canceled quite early, and it was a little hard to read. Also, for some reason, they chose white to be the ectoplasm color, which when someone's shooting ectoplasm out of their hands and it's white, there's a lot of jokes you could make. It is very 90s and 2000, it's very gritty. My big issues is there's some racial stereotypes I don't like in here involving the main character's mother, but overall, I think it took me 30 minutes to read all 9 issues, and it was a very short read about a half-ghost superhero who can go into an in-between world, he can go from the world of the living to the world of the dead, has ectoplasm-based powers, and again, you probably noticed that is very similar to Danny Phantom, and this came before Danny Phantom. I did ask the Danny Phantom Discord, which is where all the fandom meets up, for their recommendations and what they thought had Danny Phantom vibes. Now, they only gave me one book to go off of, and that is Blue Exorcist by Kazue Kato. This follows Rin, who is a teenager who finds out he is the son of Satan himself. Rin then goes to a demon school, like Cross Academy, to learn how to not only control his powers, but how to kill his real father after the death of his adopted father. A teenager with supernatural-based powers who fights supernatural entities. Of course, this is very Danny Phantom related. I have read a few things of Blue Exorcist, and I probably would have read a lot more if an ex of mine wasn't obsessed with it. So, the next couple of recommendations from the Discord were not books. Thank you for the recommendations, but they weren't books, but I will mention them there. A lot of people really mentioned Troll Hunters. This is an animated series by Gil. I'm just gonna put his name on screen. I can never pronounce his name, but I love all his work. I feel so bad. Del Toro, who this is a reimagining of the King Arthur tale involving Merlin, trolls, Morgana, etc. It's a cute animated series with several seasons and spin-offs. Next one is She-Ra. I would not have picked She-Ra, but according to many people, this does remind them a lot of Danny Phantom, and I think the coming of age and feeling different than your peers does have similarity to Danny Phantom, but She-Ra was a pick. Now, if you know of any other books or comics or manga or manhwa, any Chinese works that you think remind you of Danny Phantom or have Danny Phantom vibes, put it in the comments. If you find any shows that have Danny Phantom vibes, put that in the comments, but specify that that's not a book. This is a book channel, unfortunately. If this video gets a lot of views, I will go through and do like TV shows and movies with Danny Phantom vibes, which Odd Thomas movie will probably be in there. So just let me know in the comments if you want to see more. Like, comment, subscribe. You watch YouTube enough to know the deal, and have a fantastic day. I think my food's burning.